need more because this next storyteller drove up from Tucson. MollyMcCloy. I was surrounded by old nude men, and it was so very hot. That's what you get for going to a Turkish bathhouse in New York City. I don't know that I would do that. All right, Michelle, are we ready with the scores, judges? We're good? All right, so, we still ready? That last applause was lackluster. I need more because this next storyteller drove up from Tucson. MollyMcCloy.
So I'm 7 years old, and I've got my lemonade stand all set up. I try to flag down this guy in a 10-speed. I yell, "Lemonade for sale!" But he yells back, "Yo mama's for sale." I ask my mom what this means. She refuses to tell me. Years later, I realized that when I was going all Norman Rockwell, my mom was getting called a hooker. Back then, yo mama was the best comeback for any insult. But I was always too fat, too boyish, and too dorky to pin it all on someone else's mom. And then my family moved to a suburb full of mean kids just in time for junior high. I got called Fat Ass, Molly McBoy, and Scumbucket. My worst bully went on to become a famous skinhead. So he was so good at being a dick that he made a career out of it. I had no idea how to stand up for myself, so I decided to just fix all of my flaws, which took a while. So senior year of high school, I'm walking into Ms. J's business class, and I'm thin, and my clothes are right, and my hair is right, but then Ms. J yells out, "Why do you walk on your toes like that? What's wrong with you?" And some of the kids start laughing. Now, I'm a toe walker, which means that I walk on the balls of my feet. I've never understood why this matters to anybody else, but it does. So for Ms. J's next class, I show up 10 minutes early, figuring that if she's going to make fun of me, no one else will be there. But then she waits, and she bounces across the room, imitating my walk for the whole class. And she starts mocking me like this every day. And I really need to transfer out, but the only class still open is marching band. So I try out for marching band. I had my doubts about the whole thing. Practice would be at 6:30 a.m., and the outfits looked really uncomfortable. And rumor had it that the first chair trumpet player had impregnated 4 of the flute players and had given 2 of them herpes. And at tryouts, the band instructor looked really intense. And he said, "Now, Molly, I only want the most dedicated students, so you need to ask yourself some serious questions." So I asked myself the most serious question that I could think of, which was, how did that trumpet player get 4 girls pregnant but only pass herpes to 2? It was like one of those math riddles. And then the instructor gave me a stern look and said, "Now, Molly, what instrument do you play?" And I did not have a good answer for this question. I pulled out the drumsticks that I hadn't used since 7th grade. He pulled out a complicated piece of sheet music. And the next thing I know, I was toe walking my way right back to Ms. J's class. On instinct, I sat next to the most popular girl. And that day, Ms. J gave a lecture which was supposed to be on insurance, but instead was about 2 things, about how Liberace was the best entertainer ever, and how one time some burglars doped her poodle. So I leaned over to the girl next to me and I said, Jones did it. She staged her own burglary for the insurance money. The girl in her pink Benetton cardigan gave me a weary look like she had seen it all. No doubt, she said. So I kept going. Ms. J and Liberace were banging some smack, and they doped the dog. They put the needle in his paw. And then this oddball from the ROTC piped up. They had a three-way, Miss Jones, piano dude, and the poodle. And after that, the three of us had this story going about Ms. J, and some more kids joined in, this cool senior named Tammy. And then pretty soon, after a month, it was the whole class. By the time that Ms. J caught on, the storyline was taking place inside her own vagina. It was amazing what we squeezed in there. A grand piano, Richard Simmons, a whole troupe of animal rights activists. Stop, Miss J said. Everybody get out their textbooks now. But nobody had brought a textbook to class in weeks. I had done it. I'd turned the joke around. Now that everybody was making fun of Miss J, she couldn't target me. Thank you. Now, you might say that I could have handled this situation more tactfully. Or maybe you might call me a mean-spirited toe walker who doesn't respect Las Vegas pianists or high school flautists. To that I'd say, your mama is a mean-spirited toe walker who doesn't respect Las Vegas pianists or high school flautists. Or maybe just, yo mama.